Lyf Earth 1 Review. Reliance Retail's foray into the smartphone market right before the long-awaited launch of Reliance Jio's nationwide 4G service is by no means a coincidence. The company is making a huge, concerted push into digital services, content and infrastructure, and hardware is another complementary part of that effort. We have the most premium of its new smartphones, the Lyf Earth 1, with us today for review. The company has priced it ambitiously at Rs. 23,990, which means it takes on several so-called flagship killers including the OnePlus 2 review, the Yu Yutopia review, pictures, and even lower-priced competition such as the Lenovo Vibe X3 review. On the surface, the specifications seem to indicate that the Lyf Earth 1 is overpriced when compared to these options. However, there might be other ways in which this phone can prove its worth. We're eager to take a closer look at it. The Lyf Earth 1 comes in a pretty large black box. You get a standard charger, a USB cable, and a headset, along with a small SIM eject tool, an adhesive scratch protector, and a clip-on case. None of the accessories seem to be particularly impressive in terms of quality. The phone itself is equally unremarkable, except for one detail: twin cameras on the back. The two are placed symmetrically right at the top of the back, with an LED flash between them. Lyf says that the secondary camera enables revolutionary modes, though they all seem like things we've already seen on the HTC One M8. We'll soon examine them in detail. The Earth 1 is available only in white with a gold trim around the sides. It's a look we've seen plenty of times before, and does nothing to make this phone stand out. The front is quite plain, only cutouts for the front camera, flash, sensors, and earpiece stand out. The phone uses on-screen Android navigation buttons, so the space below the screen is blank. Predictably, the power and volume buttons are on the right. In a nice touch, Lyf has integrated a notification LED around the power button. It flashes in different colors depending on what kind of notification you've received. It isn't always visible, especially in the daytime, but it's nice to have. There's a tray on the right with slots for one microSIM and a second nano SIM or microSD card. You'll have to choose one or the other. The only branding is on the rear, right in the middle, and you get some rather prominent regulatory text to go along with it. The 3.5mm audio socket is on top, and the micro USB port and speaker grill are on the bottom. The battery is not user accessible. The Earth 1 has little visual appeal, and it isn't the most comfortable phone to hold and use either. There are raised ridges around the front and back, presumably to protect the screen and rear from scratches, but these feel rough in the hand and against the ear. The phone is also a bit slippery and slides around on flat surfaces. Where many manufacturers have crammed top-end Snapdragon 808 or even 810 processors into phones at this price point, Lyf has gone with the more modest and dated Snapdragon 615 with 8 cores. There's also 3GB of RAM, which is now de facto at this price level. You get 32GB of storage space, which is expandable only by another 32GB using a microSD card. The screen measures 5.5 inches with a resolution of 1080 by 1920. The primary rear camera has a 13-megapixel sensor and its sidekick is only 2 megapixels. The front camera has a 5-megapixel resolution. You get 4G support along with VoLTE, Voice over LTE, as well as Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 4.0, and FM radio. Honestly, there's nothing to get excited about here. You don't get an IR emitter, a fingerprint sensor, quick charging, or anything that even feels modern. A lot of phones that cost less than half as much come with these features. The only really bright spot on the spec sheet is the device's 3500 mAh battery. Thankfully, there's no heavy Android skinning. You get stock Lollipop 5.1.1 with only a few little tweaks in the settings app. Our review unit came with only one preloaded app, Reliance Jio Chat, which seems like a mashup of WhatsApp's voice and text messaging with Snapchat's content channels. People might or might not see any reason to use it when there are already loads of other messaging apps, but the channels might draw them in. Smartphone performance has gotten to a point where it has been really a long time since we've seen a review candidate at any price level choke when simply playing video files. The Lyf Earth 1 did just that, though it was only apparent when we were watching videos for a long time. We suspected thermal throttling, but the phone didn't feel too warm at any point during use. General usage was good enough in most situations. The screen is good, though a little dull and difficult to work with under harsh light. The speaker is quite tiny and prone to distortion, though sound through the bundled headphones was a lot better.